I just put a lot of chapstick on, so there's that. This looks like an apology video. Just the way I'm sitting. Oh dang it, I already shot another video with this format. Hi everyone, I'm Christy. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Today is a very exciting day because a goal I had in mind for a really long time finally came true. Not the way I had expected it at all, but I think my journey with it is something that hopefully resonates with you in some way. So I recently got 1,000 subscribers, which obviously I'm speaking to you guys right now. Whenever I thought about getting to that goal, I never thought that it would be under the current circumstances. I guess I felt that once I had this goal accomplished, I would feel like I had like a cadence and a schedule and a niche, like everything just like a well-oiled machine. And the fact that it came sooner than me feeling like that comes to show that there isn't a specific formula to get to it. It's just trying, and it's just putting your foot forward and acting on it. If you do that, you will get there. It won't look the way that you expected it to look, but you will get there. And that's what matters. What I want you guys to feel is whatever goal you have in mind, there isn't a perfect way to get there. There really is not a perfect way. And I got to this goal in less than a year, but I've been dreaming about this for years. And I was thinking, you know, back then, I really want to make this channel. And I remember it used to be called Tea Times 2, and it would be only covers. And I dreamed about talking, but I was so shy and so nervous that I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it. I would like freak out by the idea that someone that I knew would watch it, and that would scare me. But I really wanted to do that because I wanted to create content that was valuable in some way or just entertaining in some way. And I think we kind of close ourselves off, and many times we use the excuse of, oh, I want to make the perfect video, or I want to make the perfect strategy, or I want to do this or that. And that stops you because it'll never be perfect. It'll never be perfect. And then there's also the idea that you're always waiting for like motivation to strike, and it can sometimes, but it's not sustainable and it will go away. And then the moment that it goes away, what are you going to do about it? You know, and I think I kind of felt in that cycle for so long because it's something that I always wanted to do. Like back when I was in college, I always wanted to do this. And I kind of put it on the back burner, and I never did it. And right now, I mean, I just missed 2 uploads. Like, it's not that I'm killing the game right now. I really am not. But I got to a goal that I never thought that I would get to in such a long time. And I still don't have a niche. I still don't know what I want to do with my channel. You don't have to have everything figured out. Just do your best and try to do what you think you want to do, and all else will follow. There were so many videos that I created that never saw the light of day. The lighting is like very bright. And although there are many types of traffic sources, beautiful, you know? Who says you're not beautiful? This is what happens when you just moved in somewhere. Steal some cabbage, some skin, clouds of shyness in moments unforgettable. And the last parameter will be result versus cost. Is it worth the money? It's something that you thought that could actually mean a lot to that other person. So let that person know. I said person a lot because I thought they were not good enough, they're not funny, they're not all these things that I was like, okay, I just need to wait so I can have the perfect setup, the perfect punchline, the perfect everything. And it's not going to be perfect. It never is going to be perfect. And another thing that I want you to know is that you will cringe at yourself. It marks growth. Your mind has no limits. You can dream really, really high. And it doesn't mean that you won't get to that dream. It just means that you usually start with limited resources, limited time, with limited equipment, or just a learning curve that you have to figure out before you get there. But you have to understand that unless you actually start and try and fail, you'll always be in the same spot. And the space between where you want to get to and where you are is always going to be the same, if not bigger, each time. Once I decided to actually put things out there, that's when I started to really learn and really grow. And I haven't gotten to like the perfect response of what I want to do. Like right now, I'm what they call a variety channel because there's no clear focus, which is a nice way to say we have no idea what's going on here. I feel like everyone's read this book at this point and I was just really late in the game. But it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. It tells you, it doesn't tell you what you want to hear. It tells you what you need to hear. Wow. I'll link it below too if you want to give it a read. But one of the things that really spoke to me is defining what metrics that serve you. Because if I would have been, once I get to 1,000, I am successful, I have done it, I have reached my goal, I would have felt very empty the moment that I got to 1,000. And if I hadn't gotten to 1,000, I would have felt like a failure. I wouldn't have been happy in any situation. Because then once you get to 1,000, then what? And you can't control that. You know, maybe you guys watch this video and you're like, when did I subscribe to this person? And then you just like unsubscribe. And then what? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I just made a video about how I got my goal and nobody's, oh my gosh, what do I do? There goes my goal, there goes the dream that I set out for myself. And that's the thing, when you set a metric tied to a variable that you can't control, you're never gonna be fully happy. A metric that would work would be something like, I will upload 20 videos this year. That's something you can do, it depends on you, right? The more you do those types of metrics, the more you'll start getting to your goal in a meaningful way. Another thing that I think is super relevant to what we're talking about is how motivation comes about. A lot of people think of motivation like you have emotional inspiration, then it comes motivation, and then comes the action, right? Because that's how we see it. You watch this video and then you're like, I'm inspired, I'm going to outline the video I want to do, the art I want to do, or whatever I want to do, and then tomorrow I am going to record it. And then it comes tomorrow and you wake up and you're not feeling that great, and you're like, well, I'll just wait for the next video that I watch and I'll record it then. And that's how people traditionally see motivation. But the way that Mark Manson describes it is that it really is action first. So you go action, inspiration, and then motivation. So it says, if you lack the motivation to make an important change in your life, do something, anything, really. And then harness the reaction to that action as a way to begin motivating yourself. There's a video as well that talks about creatives and how hard it is to like actually follow through and feel happy with like what you've created, especially when you're starting out.
Nobody tells people who are beginners, and I really wish somebody had told this to me, is that all of us who do creative work, like, you know, we get into it, and we get into it because we have good taste. But it's like there's a gap that for the first couple of years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good, okay? It's not that great. It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what I mean? A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people at that point, they quit. And the thing I would just like say to you with all my heart is that most everybody I know who does interesting creative work, they went through a phase of years where they had really good taste, they could tell what they were making wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. They knew it felt short.
And years stacked up and I never did anything. And it wasn't until quarantine hit and a crazy amount of time in my hands that I was like, if I don't do this now, I literally will not have a better time to start. And now things are very busy for me, but I have started, and that's already given me the ripple effect of continuing to go at it. I want you guys to implement that same mentality with yourself, you know? What's the least I can do today to get me closer to that I really desire? And it can be the smallest thing, you know? It can be like opening a Pinterest board, or just writing down titles of songs you want to write. I mean, it depends on what you're creating, right? You know what's the least you can do, and see where that takes you. And that'll eventually keep motivating you. And if you feel like it's not, do something else. Maybe that specific task is not working, try to do something else. And put yourself out there. You will not get there playing it safe, okay? You really won't. So I hope this served as inspiration. I love to talk about these things with close friends and family. But maybe that's something I can bring to my channel. Who knows? Every video is much different than the last one. There's no common thread. But hey, 1,000 of you stuck along, and that's so beautiful. So thank you. And that's the first thing I want to do. Just thank you and hopefully inspire you. And even if I didn't, at least make you do an action. Try something, and eventually you'll feel inspired by yourself. So thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks again. Bye.